You've taken a long, hard look at Lehman. What corporate governance lessons can be learned?
Corporate governance is really about enterprise risk management. It's virtually impossible for a board of directors to oversee a company the size of Lehman in any meaningful way.
You think it's impossible. What would you advocate?
Management needs to be personally responsible, liable for the kind of risk or excessive risk that might be taken. And I think that's what would be appropriate under these circumstances. I'm not sure that looking to a board of directors who spend 6 days a year on a complex company makes much sense.
Is there any type of regulation that could be implemented that would help prevent this kind of problem?
In an entity like Lehman, what you needed to have better coordination of all the various regulating bodies, the FDIC, the SEC, the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, the Office of the Thrift. Too much inconsistency, too much lack of coordination, sometimes turf battles develop. We need to have a boss of all regulators, if you would. And if that's the FDIC, then the FDIC should be that boss.
The Lehman bankruptcy is part of what led to a worldwide financial crisis. Right now, there's a sovereign debt problem in Europe, which could also lead to a contagion effect. What should they be doing to prevent fallout from a potential default from PIGS countries?
The problem of Europe has to be bifurcated into a banking crisis and a sovereign debt crisis. On the banking crisis side, what the various foreign ministers learned from Lehman was that if you let one bank go, that could topple a second bank, a third bank, and so on until the contagion would hit the entire financial system. The second decision was, what do we do with the sovereign debt? Very different issue. Now, on that issue, everyone is wrenching their hands and asking, well, what about Greece? Is Greece going to default or not going to default? The problem I have with that is that the bonds are being exchanged right now for anywhere from 50 to 70 cents on the dollar of discount. I sort of think a default has really been declared. It may not be declared in an official sense, but anyone who's willing to do that is doing a wink-wink. If you don't do this, they're going to default. So I'm not really sure what a default of Greece is going to mean, given the fact that the marketplace has had time to experience the kind of discount we're talking about and the likelihood of a default if they don't go along with it. So I'm less concerned about the sovereign risk. I believe it's going to be solved, but if it's not solved, I don't think it's the end of the day either, as it relates to the sovereign problem in Greece. I don't think there's contagion necessarily to the rest of Europe.